Gravity SMTP is now available for all Gravity Forms Elite license holders. You can install Gravity SMTP on your WordPress websites using your Elite license key and have a new way of sending those important transactional emails, whether they're from your Gravity Forms, lead gen forms, donation forms, or your WordPress website. Your entire email log will be tracked right here inside of WordPress, so you can punch in to the very important emails to see what's going on. If they're getting delivered, if they're getting rejected, you can check the content. If you're answering support questions or looking for receipts, this gives you a bird's eye view into the other email sending platforms that you have connected up to Gravity SMTP. A little bit more about that if we go into our settings. You can see it's a very simple and clean setup process. License key, you can enable or disable test mode, but the real magic happens when you go into the integration screen and choose from Brevo, Mailgun, Postmark, SendGrid, or your own custom SMTP service to connect up to your WordPress website through Gravity SMTP. The launch setup wizard will kick you off with a real easy setup and easy to understand workflow. Let's get started. We go and we select, hey, which product does this connect to? Gravity Forms. Next, we select which provider we're going to use. In this case, SendGrid. Click Next. You'll punch in your SendGrid API key, the email address it's coming from, and the sender's name. Hit Next. And that will lead us to a completed setup for Gravity SMTP. Very easy, and now all of those transactional emails are sent through Gravity SMTP to make sure that they're delivered, spam-free, getting to your customers, getting to your recipients. Check out Gravity SMTP at gravityforms.com, now available for all Elite license plan holders. Hey, Adam, the day is finally here, my friend. You and I have been talking about this, which feels like about 6 years at this point. It's been about 6 months that we've been talking to the Facebook group, talking to our Twitter followers, talking to our YouTube channel about Gravity SMTP. And the day's here for Elite license holders and above. And we're excited to launch Gravity SMTP.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
We're going to show off a couple things about Gravity SMTP today. We're going to talk about the features, benefits. If this is your first time hearing about Gravity SMTP, we'll do a Q&A. That's largely the goal with this live stream, is to chat with you, the audience. If you have any questions about Gravity SMTP, how to get it, what it does, what it means to you or your WordPress business, that's what Adam and I are going to answer today. Like I said at the top of the video, available to Elite license holders. Adam's going to show us in the Gravity Forms dashboard where you can get this. We have plans to roll it out to other license plan holders, and eventually for folks who might not even have Gravity Forms. This is a first for Gravity Forms or for Rocket Genius. The only other product we've launched and built from the ground up was Gravity Forms proper. So this is our first independent, product that we've launched. And you'll hear more behind the scenes on that in the Breakdown podcast, where I interviewed a couple folks from the team to chat about what that process was like at gravityforms.com/breakdown. It's the podcast that I do.
It's pretty good. I've listened to it.
Have you? I'm glad you've listened to it. In fact, Adam, it's I think you're the guy that keeps giving me the 5-star review on every episode.
Oh, really? Yeah, maybe.
I hope so. You better be. Adam, let's show folks where they can access the plugin from Elite license holders. I'll let you set up to share your screen. Then we'll show off some other features and setting it up in the back end, which I can guide you through. So Adam will show us where to get the plugin.
Okay. Let me do that. Here we go. All right. Am I sharing my screen? Because
you are.
Sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, great. So once you go to gravityforms.com, click on up the top there. It says login. I'm already logged in, so you don't need to see that. And you'll now see if you have an active license and it is a Elite license, you'll see now that we have two products. So you can click on, the downloads for all of your Gravity Forms extensions, and now you have a Gravity Forms SMTP. Click on that. It will then go to, hopefully this is sharing as well. You'll now see another page here where you can click on the downloads. So you can click download here, and there's also the documentation link, and you can see what version we're at, which is 1.0. So if you have an Elite license, you'll see that now in your dashboard, and then be able to download. Now, if you've already installed Gravity SMTP before, like for the beta testing, because we've been doing many months of beta testing and things like that, you'll have to go to Gravity Forms in the plugin Gravity Forms and click on updates. So if you go to Gravity Forms, you'll see it says system status, then click updates, and you'll now see there's an update for 1.0. So you'll be able to click that, and it will then upgrade to the latest version. And once you're done that, it will reflect that in the top right hand side here. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of how to get if you've either never installed it before or you want to upgrade to the latest version. That's how you do it. So there you go, Matt. Do you want me to share anything else at the moment?
Let's just tackle, but let's show people how we get access to it. For those who are eager to jump in to get Gravity SMTP, we've shown that. Let's talk about the value that Gravity SMTP delivers for end users, and probably primarily for the agency owners, the freelancers that are out there, how this adds value to your offering with a customer. I remember when I was running my agency, and again, happy Gravity Forms customer for over a decade, even before, obviously well before I was an employee here at Rocket Genius, had always used it. One of the most gratifying things that I found anyway as an agency owner is you're building a website for somebody. Yes, you're getting them online. You're getting their about page up there. Again, I'm thinking back to when I ran an agency and just like people discovering the internet for their business. Like, I guess some people still are discovering the internet for their business, which is crazy in the year 2024. Mm-hmm. But when the eyes really lit up for customers when they received their contact form, when they received their membership sign up, or they sold a digital product, or they, that transaction started happening, and that the business started to sort of, air quotes, run itself on the web, and people could see like, wow, I have a website, I'm putting out content, people contact me, they want to hire me. This is a whole thing that I've never experienced before. And that was a very gratifying moment for myself and the team to put that in place for somebody, for a small business owner who might be working the brick and mortar store, beating the streets with the regular marketing, newspaper ad, radio ad. But when the internet, the consumer internet came about, very powerful to see that moment, that light bulb moment for a small business owner on the web. Mm-hmm. The problem is those lead forms become very, very critical to small business and the lifeblood for their business. They need to get those forms delivered to their inbox. Or let's say somebody's, perfect example, it's springtime. I'm sure all the lawn care businesses are just going nuts right now with everybody contacting them and them sending quotes back. You need to make sure that those emails are getting to your inbox or your sales team inbox. And you need to know that your whatever automated notifications you have in Gravity Forms that sends information back to your customer, sign up form, newsletter form, again, receipt from a donation or a sign up. You need to make sure that that is getting to your customer as well without going to spam, without just getting lost on the internet. And Gravity SMTP helps you deliver those important, critical emails through email sending services like SendGrid, Brevo, Postmark, etc. And it's super critical. Number one, it goes hand in hand with your Gravity Forms, and it's also super critical to the business transaction, right? Because these are just very important moments that might get overlooked because you're like, it's just an email. Yeah, well, what happens when a $5,000 lead to a small business gets lost to spam? somebody's getting in trouble.
Yep.
and it's going to start with you, the web designer, because they're going to say, hey, I haven't been getting these emails. And I've been there. I've been there years ago where the customer said, I haven't been getting any of these emails. And we either had something misconfigured or was going to spam. And this is a complete holistic approach to adding value to your agency without even telling the customer. You may not even tell your customers that you're installing Gravity SMTP, but they're just safe knowing I'm getting these leads. There's nothing wrong with it. It's when you don't sort of look at all critical points of an online business is where you can fall flat. And that's why I'm happy that Gravity SMTP is here, going hand in hand with Gravity Forms. I might have oversold that a bit, Adam, but what about you? What do you think? How critical are SMTP connections and to these ESPs on the web?
Yeah, if your emails aren't getting delivered to your potential customers, sales, like a lot of people use WordPress for so many different things, right? So they can use it to build a sales funnel, automation, and a lot is utilized. Emails are utilized to do that, right? And if you're not using a good WordPress plugin that connects to an API or service that is able to deliver emails, then there's a chance that it's not going to work. So that would, greatly affect your business. So, yeah, and there's a lot of other features in Gravity SMTP that we can talk about that like go beyond like the basics of just getting emails delivered. So we can talk about that so shortly.
One of the questions we receive, or we were receiving throughout our beta demonstrations, all the way from when we launched, it was an alpha version, then we switched to beta, obviously, and then we have a beta group. So if you go to gravityforms.com/beta, you can join that group, primarily a Facebook group and an email list. If you want to be the first to test out different products or add-ons that we're doing that are in the beta phase, go to gravityforms.com/beta. One of the questions we received was, hey, we have some add-ons, right? Gravity Forms Core has add-ons for email sending services. What's the difference, right? The difference is this is a standalone product. This is the way that we see it. This is a standalone product. It has a much more enhanced feature set. It will certainly have a much more enhanced feature set as time marches on than our add-ons, right? This is a complete brand new build of a product, of a plugin, and it's going to have more than what we could offer through just a typical add-on approach. Largely being, you might not need Gravity Forms in the future to run Gravity SMTP. Now you do, but in the future you might not. That's one of them. But we can really expand upon this a lot more. Any thoughts on, or any feedback or any takeaways when you were building this from the ground up? Excitement, designing something new and fresh. What was that like for you?
Well, being able to build it with component system, like, so we at Gravity Forms have built a new design component system. I'm the product designer for Gravity Forms.
I knew you from somewhere. That's
the way.
That's where you're from.
I didn't mention that at the beginning. So like being able to build a different design language that fits quite closely to what WordPress is going to be doing in the future, and exploring how the new menu system looks. There's a lot of things I'd love to show eventually as well in future podcasts as well, like what we've been doing for the future of WordPress and what the direction it's going in. So basically, I would say I kind of went on a tangent there. I kind of forgotten what your question was.
Yeah, just any feedback you had from building it. Brand new product. You get to start with a blank canvas. Probably exciting for somebody who's an eager product designer / developer like yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so building something from the ground up versus like having to, there's a bunch of things that are already been built and then having to kind of like massage that into looking a different way. Like we didn't have all those constraints, right? So we're able to a bit more opinionated, like the flow of how things work. It's a lot more streamlined. Not that our previous products aren't, and we're looking to improve them, but like we didn't have all those same rigidity like how things have been built in the past. So I would say it'd be like blank canvas is a great way to start with, and then from a development perspective, people have been able to like embrace new technologies as well. So
one of the services that I like to use, and I'm using this on a site that I manage, is SendGrid. There's a lot changing in the email deliverability world. I think that email is obviously still one of the most critical points, as we mentioned, for a small business. If you're a marketing person, like email, you know, like the value of email. And there's a lot going into protecting folks' inboxes from spam, from phishing attacks. And it's also one of the last bastions of hope for marketers, right? When you look at the world of social media, which is largely driven by, algorithm or ads, organic search, we're seeing a tremendous drop in rankings from folks who have been doing content marketing for a while. You start to wonder, how can I really stay connected with my customers if it's expensive to do social media, both time and money, SEO, time and money, and you're always at the mercy of the Google search algorithm, whatever that is, whatever flavor that is of the month. And you start to wonder, like, how can I stay in touch with customers and make sure that they're getting the information I need? Email, and I guess instant messaging or direct messaging, I don't know what the proper industry term is for that, messaging in general. Email is super critical to that. One of the services that I use, that I find to be the easiest to navigate amongst all of these real technical hurdles, is SendGrid, which we support by default. SendGrid will help you deliver those emails. They're the sort of like what I guess maybe like we call like merchant of record. They're the email sender of record. They're the provider, right? They're the ones that are making sure that email flowing through their internet pipes are not from spammers, one hopes, right? And what happens is when this email passes through a SendGrid and somebody receives it at Gmail, at Comcast, wherever they're doing their email, those inboxes say, hey, no, we trust this email coming in from SendGrid. We get it. We know it's a trusted network. We know that they're reliable. Therefore, let's not put it in the spam box, right? That's a 50,000-foot view of how maybe this technology works. And then you, as the site owner or the webmaster who's controlling it for your customer, can see these reports. So if your customer ever said, hey, these receipts aren't getting through, I don't understand it. I don't understand why my customers are saying that they're not getting my receipts or my contact forms. You could either log into SendGrid if you're using SendGrid as your provider, or you would come into your Gravity SMTP dashboard, and check the email logs right inside of your WordPress dashboard. So you wouldn't need to have to go into a SendGrid. We're pulling it in from Gravity SMTP. This is a live site, so I don't want to open up any of these emails. But you could click in and punch into an email and see why it's not getting delivered. Understand, where the disconnect is, and then report that back to your client. I find SendGrid to be the easiest for me because you can actually set up like a single sender. It's been the fastest to set up, in my opinion. I don't know if you have a different take on that, Adam.
I like Brevo is pretty good too. Like SendInBlue, it used to be called, but yeah, it's very fast. Like they give you an API key within like a few seconds of setting it up, and then you can actually start testing it. So it's pretty good as well. And I think the pricing is pretty good.
Yeah, I was just about to say. So SendGrid, you can run this for free. Let me just stop the screen share for a second, just in case I pull up something on the account back end here. So SendGrid can start for free 1,000 messages a month. Let me see here. One teammate, one event, start for free. It actually doesn't say how many emails, but I think it's 1,000. And then up to 100,000 is $20 a month for SendGrid. Let me share the screen one more time. You like Brevo, formerly SendInBlue. I remember SendInBlue. I'm in the wrong browser. Pricing. Free.
Yeah.
300 emails a day.
A day, yeah. So
Wow.
I don't. Is that? Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's better than SendGrid.
And they're very how their sign up flow is very good. You don't have to do as much validation to get it, just to see if it works. And so yeah, it's good in that regard. And then they have a lot of other products that are inside of Brevo that are more of the marketing side of things as well.
One of the and then look, if somebody says, "Hey, I don't want to use either of these products or any of these products that you have out of the box," we have the opportunity to just connect up through any SMTP server or API. How does that unfold?
Yeah, so like let's say you use Google with Gmail, they give you an SMT. You can sign up for an SMTP account through Gmail, right? And at the moment, we have a custom SMTP section on the integrations tab that you can then put your SMTP server. So if you've got any SMTP service that, like, we'll support it. Going forward, we did have it in the beta rounds or the RC rounds of the plugin release, which was Gmail, like Google Workspace's Gmail. And for the official launch of 1.0, we've removed it just for now because Google are still approving our app. But we should have that pretty soon, I think. So you'll be able to just OAuth log in to Gmail as well. So that would be simpler for those folks. And we can talk a bit more about what other integrations are coming shortly after this as well.
So if I was somebody who was using another affordable service, but oh so darn complex to set up, which is Amazon's, oh God, now I'm going to forget the name.
SES.
SES. Right?
Yep.
Even the name is difficult. I'll be able to set it up through, hopefully through the custom SMTP settings.
For now, yeah. Like you'll
now.
be able to, but we're going to do an official integration. That's one of the top three that we're following up with other integrations. There'll be Amazon SES, Microsoft 365, Google Workspaces, which I already talked about. And then after that, we'll start integrating with the other providers like MailChimp, Mandrill. We have a whole list. If you go to our product board, we have a roadmap. I can't remember that. Maybe you can bring it up, Matt.
Yep.
That we have a link to go there, and you can actually vote on which integration. If we don't currently support it, or we have an official integration with it, you can go ahead and vote for it. And we've got quite a few votes on a few integrations there. So the more the merrier.
Is there a particular feature that you're working on now or extension that you're working on now that you're excited to get in the next round?
Yeah, you'll have to go. That you're on the Gravity Forms one. So you'll have to go to me, pull it up, or I can give you the link. Just 1 second.
Either way, yeah, we'll take your feedback on Gravity Forms proper too. You can come here.
Yeah,
to
definitely
Gravity Forms roadmap.
Give us your insights. So the SMTP. I'll just answer your question while you're looking for it. So next up is, like, obviously we got the version 1 out, so we're happy about what we've got so far. But we're already starting on like the next version. We don't want to give it a number, but we're already starting on the next version of the plugin. Hopefully we get quite a bit of response from our customers just for like bug reports. So we'll make sure that we prioritize those over new features first. But the next things that we're excited to do, obviously more integrations are coming that we already talked about. Then we've got the ability to create a backup connection. So let's say, SendGrid or one of those other services out there, there could be a million different reasons why it could stop working. Let's say your billing profile, your credit card expired or something. And for some reason, now SendGrid won't send your emails because that billing record is no longer valid or whatever, or maybe they're having some API issues, perhaps. I don't think that really happens that often, but maybe it does. But just that peace of mind of being able to like have an additional backup connection that will take over if any of the other services seem to have problems. We're building that next, right? Then we're going to have more email management, so you'll be able to turn off certain features in that WordPress default sends out a bunch of stuff that you just don't want customers to get. For example, there's a million other plugins out there that already do that, but this is just one less plugin that you'll need to install because you have Gravity SMTP. So that's great. Yeah, so we can talk about all the features that are coming, but that's just a glance of what we're working on right now.
Dan, like you knew it was coming, Adam. Dan in the audience had asked, since email deliverability can be such a critical issue, I'm interested in a backup alternate platform solution, such as if email fails, send a warning SMS to me or something. Any thoughts on this? I think you've addressed that by having alternate routes that these emails could take. So that's fantastic, yeah. Dan, thanks for the question.
Yeah, so we will also have the ability to send notifications and alerts if there's something going. Let's say you want to get notified when the backup connection gets triggered, right? Or if there's a connection problem. Well, then we'll have integrations eventually with Slack, with WhatsApp, Twilio, which you can see on the screen right there for SMS. Different services that will send out a notification to you to tell you, hey, there's a problem, you need to fix it. Okay, so it's all described on the under consideration part of the roadmap there.
As somebody who maintains a nonprofit site, which I talk about a lot, the donation forms, the receipts and stuff like that, the notifications are so critical. And again, one of those things that can be often overlooked, and then people start freaking out, right? I made a donation. Where's the receipt, right? I just gave this organization $200 hard-earned dollars. Where's the receipt? I didn't see it come to my inbox. And then, the nonprofit team is freaking out at the webmaster saying, hey, didn't get that receipt. How do I know? Because I've been there. I've experienced it firsthand. And it wasn't because of actual email deliverability. It's because I forgot to put on the notification emails, but that's a whole other topic. It has nothing to do with Gravity SMTP. It has to do with my failure as a webmaster. But we try to get better. I think it's really interesting to be able to tie in multiple services like that, and I'd say that's probably one of the biggest differences between just running a standard add-on, or our typical approach of running an add-on for any of these services. Having Gravity SMTP as sort of like the control point to do this in multiple avenues is going to be really cool to see that stuff take shape.
Yeah, I'm excited for the resend feature. So I don't know if you have Gravity SMTP installed, and we can just quickly look at it, right? The version 1, or if you want me to do it, I can do it as well.
Is it in RC5? Because I haven't upgraded to 1.0.
Yeah, do you want to show them how to upgrade? Like perhaps if you have an install, we can just run through that real quick. If not, I can take over.
Yes, you're going to have to take over.
Okay.
Adam, you have to drive from here. Folks, like Dan who are watching, if you have any questions, we'll probably be going for about, 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in and we'll try to get those answered.
So we already showed how to upgrade, like if you already have like the RC versions installed. I just recap if you missed that part of the live stream, just click on forms, then system update, and then click on upgrades, and you'll get a notice saying that there's an upgrade for SMTP. I'm already on 1.0, so don't need to do that right now. And so, for example, I've got MailPoet installed, I've got WooCommerce installed, and obviously all these plugins send emails out for marketing reasons and stuff like that. The great thing about what we're building and is being able to quickly search, and then we're having filters as well, so you can filter by, not right now, but in the future release of Gravity SMTP, you'll be able to filter by the status, like if it failed. So that's a good example. If it failed, then what you could do is you could click on it and view the email itself, and then from there you can view it and then see it, why the reason why it might have failed. If it's, let's say you want to just view it and see how it looks when you actually when it's sent out, or you're testing some like responsive styling on the email, things like that, you can quickly do that by clicking these buttons here. So you can kind of go to a mobile look and kind of see how it looks on a mobile device as well as desktop. So that's kind of convenient. Eventually we'll have a button here to resend the email, and also be able to change the email address that it was sent to, and then it will create a new record for that in a future version. So that would be really handy for people who, I wanted that email, but you sent it to the wrong email address. Like, that's an example of what you could do with that. So,
yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that Gravity Forms can do for folks. Again, you could be just doing email. You can have basic contact form. You can have email newsletters, sign up, donations, selling digital products, etc. Membership sites. It can be part of a bespoke app that somebody's building for accepting content into a website. A million different things. And my God, I'm so excited to see what we can do with the email and the messaging side to enhance that experience as time marches on. Again, Gravity SMTP now available for all Gravity Forms Elite license plan holders. This is a brand new product. This is a standalone product. Think of it that way. It's not just a typical add-on. As we've demonstrated, some of the features that are coming to or already here in 1.0, some of the stuff that's going to be enhanced over time. Elite license plan holders are $259 for the year, $259 a year for an Elite license plan holder. You'll get Gravity SMTP included with that. I will tell you that is probably the best, not probably, it is the best value in the WordPress industry. Free plugins quickly become very expensive plugins, as I've found, as I look over the landscape. And there are plugins that are out there that are doing similar services to Gravity SMTP, but come at a much higher fee the more you use them. I don't know of any combo of a form plugin and an SMTP plugin at $259 a year that's going to give you the same value, the same feature set, and the same awesome support that you get at gravityforms.com. That's one of the best reasons. So if you're using other SMTP add-ons now or plugins now that are not part of the Gravity ecosystem, and you love our support, and you want to make sure that when you're installing this type of software on your customers' websites, you don't want to have that to be the weak link when you're supporting your own customers, switch to Gravity SMTP, especially if you're using Gravity Forms, and start delivering emails with Gravity SMTP. It makes total sense for you, your business, and your customers. Adam, it's always a pleasure doing product launches with you. This is
okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is the first one, so I don't know how much of a pleasure it could be.
I hope that we can do more of these. We will do more of these because Gravity has a bunch of stuff in the hopper that we want to launch. Not just the features with Gravity SMTP, but some of the other cool things that we're working on behind the scenes. Are you going to WordCamp Europe?
Yes, I recently just booked my flight, so I'm definitely going.
Now that we've said it out loud, the executive team has to send you to WordCamp Europe because now all these fans are going to be waiting for you to sign their T-shirts.
Oh, I can't wait.
I was on the podcast, which will be coming out in about an hour on the Breakdown feed at gravityforms.com/breakdown. I interviewed Travis Tots, and I was sort of joking with him. One of our favorite products that we have here at Gravity Forms isn't a piece of software, but it's a piece of clothing. A lot of people love the Gravity Forms T-shirts. We expect to have those, obviously, at WordCamp Europe. I was saying to him, if we launch a Gravity SMTP T-shirt, version 1 of that T-shirt is going to be a collector's item, right? Because now people know.
I think you might be right. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. I was like, we should probably get some swag now that we've, got another product out there. So Is that actually an official thing, or is that just rumors at the moment?
I think once we've said it now on the live stream, once on the podcast, I think Travis has no excuses other than just running out of time because it's already April, and WordCamp Europe will be right around the corner. But I'm telling you, version 1 of an SMTP T-shirt. Whew.
Oh, that's good. That's gonna be. I just can't wait to wear one.
we know you'll be spam free at all events.
Yeah. Exactly.
Adam Pickering, always a pleasure to hang out. Everybody else, thanks for watching today. Don't forget, Elite license plan holders now have access to Gravity SMTP. Log into your dashboard, get it hooked up into your WordPress site. Test it out. First, you can go to our demo page that runs on InstaWP. You can play with it there. Check it out on your own staging servers before you deploy it to your production sites. Have questions, email support. I'm sure they'll be happy to answer any questions you have about Gravity SMTP. Makes total sense. I can't wait to start delivering emails with Gravity SMTP. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out today, and we'll see you in the next one.